Hello, everyone. Ex-Wall Killed Bethelite here. And Jehovah's Witnesses say they have the truth, that they go out door to door and present the truth to people, that they are concerned about keeping everything as accurate as possible. They go so far as to criticize other people for celebrating holidays. Because those aren't things that are necessarily in the Bible. Well, why is it that if you go to jw.org and on that website, there's a search engine. You can search, just type in the word Jesus. Now, you may or may not know where I'm heading with this, but you can just type in the word Jesus and they're going to have some examples of magazines that they have on the topic that you can click on. They'll have the picture on the front of that magazine, and of course it'll have a picture of Jesus on there. Why do they have Jesus as a white man? Why do they have Jesus as a white male so often in their literature, like straight up white? Now, we know that's not accurate. So if Jehovah's Witnesses are concerned about presenting the truth to the public, they know that other churches have also fallen for the same thing, trying to essentially whitewash history and make people who are important figures appear to be white when they were not. Well, if they're trying to be different from other churches and not put out information that is not accurate, why is it when you think about the books and the literature that you study as a Jehovah's Witness, Jesus was a white man depicted in all of those things? I mean, of all the people not to depict accurately, Jesus is not one of the ones that you'd want to depict in an inaccurate manner. I mean, I remember around Christmas, you'd have the displays in people's yards with Jesus and the wise men, and Joseph and Mary, and the baby Jesus in these depictions. It's a white kid. It's a white baby. Well, we know you did not. There's no way Joseph had to hide Jesus in Egypt when Herod was going to kill all those kids. Joseph, you can't hide a white kid and you can't hide a white baby in Egypt. You're not really hiding. I mean, you go to Egypt with a white kid and you're a Middle Eastern. You're a Middle Eastern and you have a white baby and you're going to Egypt. Like, that's going to kind of be, it's going to draw suspicion. If you got a white baby, you want to have an angel fly you to Europe somewhere or something. If you're going to try to hide amongst people, you're not hiding no white kid in Egypt. So why is it that not only has Watchtower falsely depicted Jesus as a white man in the past, but you can go to jw.org and type in the word Jesus and look at current depictions of Jesus, and they depict him as just as a white guy. Like, it's like they go out of their way to depict Jesus as inaccurately as possible. It's bad enough that they doctrinally teach that Jesus was Michael the archangel. So they're already false in their doctrine, but for them to just repetitively over and over and over depict Jesus as a white man, it does a disservice. Because I remember as a kid growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, those things are subliminal. Those images plant thoughts in your mind, and you don't even have to think about it. You're looking at the same thing over and over and over. Jesus, a white man. Jesus, a white man. Jesus, a white man. And Watchtower is guilty of this. Preaching a false Messiah, preaching a white Jesus. Watchtower is guilty of preaching a false Messiah. You've got all these Jehovah's Witnesses praying in the name of Jesus, and in their minds, they're depicting a white guy. I know it because it affected me as a kid growing up in the organization, only ever seeing that. I worked at Interstate Warehouse, and I believe it's the one in Hamilton, Ohio. I worked at Interstate Warehouse, and I was fairly young. I wasn't completely awake yet. I was in the process of waking up, but not completely awake yet. And there was this white guy that I worked with, and he had this big beard. It's a white guy, slender, somewhat tall, has this beard. And I kept thinking to myself, he looks like Jesus. Like, identical. Like, he looks exactly like Jesus. Matter of fact, this white guy is, he doesn't know why I'm staring at him, but he's just doing his work. And I'm just feeling kind of eerie around him. Like, this guy looks a little bit too much like Jesus over here. That's what this stuff does to you. That's what it does. There's a reason why people whitewash history and try to make everyone who is important in history look like them so that people don't see importance anywhere else. If you want to see anything that's important, we're going to depict it as a white person. Now, Watchtower has primarily depicted Jesus as a white guy. It's probably some white guy at Bethel that they're drawing. I mean, it's not like they don't have black people. It's not like they don't have people who are, of a complexion that would be more like Jesus. They purposely depict Jesus as white in a country where whitewashing wasn't just something that was done in history in general. It was done in religion. It was done in religion. It was done, I'm sure, for a number of reasons, but they wanted to have the blacks in the back of the church. They want to have blacks all the way in the back of the church, or blacks in separate churches. You can't do all this stuff. You can't discriminate against people and at the same time revere or worship somebody who looks just like the people that you're making get in the back of the bus. It just psychologically, it doesn't work like that. So everybody who looked important needed to look like somebody other than a African American, other than someone of color. And Watchtower still depicting Jesus as a white guy, not even Middle Eastern looking, just a flat out white guy standing there. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And you have pictures of this white guy sitting on a throne. If you were raised in that organization I can probably just describe something and you'll remember it. A white guy sitting on a throne looking down on the earth. And he's just as white as can be. Like he's white as can be. And there's no real excuse uh, for it. Because in Revelation, even if they wanted to say, well, we're getting this based off something written in the Bible. They can't say that because in Revelation, even symbolic or not, it don't say nothing about him being white. It says that his the feet were like bronze or copper or something of a brown, darker complexion. Uh, the only thing it depicted as white, if I remember correctly, was his hair. Or maybe in some places in the Bible it may depict clothing. But there's no way that picture of that white guy that Jehovah's Witnesses have on their literature, there's no way that they depict him that way because of something they read in the Bible that is completely extra biblical. So you mean to tell me you have these people who say the truth is important? Matter of fact, they call their religion the truth. But they have consistently lied about and participated in whitewashing religion. And when you think about it, it benefits them because how else are you going to think that this company in New York City called Watchtower all of a sudden is God's chosen people? All these white guys in New York, all of a sudden is God's people. How are you going to, how your mind, how's your brain going to just take all these people who were in the Middle East and in Africa and places around there, all these people who are God's chosen people in those areas, all of a sudden they're in New York now. This place called Bethel, this company called Watchtower. Well, by whitewashing, everybody you see that's a scriptural character, they depict as a white person, just like someone you'd see in New York. So when you think about God's chosen people, it's not hard for your mind to wrap around. Oh, it's this company in New York called Watchtower. That's where God's focus is right now. It's in Watchtower. It's no longer anywhere. You know what I mean? It's just, it doesn't make any sense. And I think that's partially why Watchtower continues to produce literature whitewashing religion, showing anybody important. And I say for the most part, because there may be a magazine or a book somewhere that has somebody that's of a darker complexion, but I looked on jw.org and there shouldn't be no white Jesus on no magazine nowhere because there wasn't one. So if Watchtower is concerned about not participating in things that are extra biblical, like a holiday, well, you shouldn't be participating in whitewashing religion either. This is not something that you even hear people talk about much. Why were all these people white? Wasn't one of the apostles confused with an Egyptian, or you know what I mean? But if you read in magazines and you grew up with Jehovah's Witness, all these people are white people. And you got these people in New York running the company, Watchtower. It looks like the majority of them are white. So, of course, they're not going to have a problem with it. They're not going to have a problem with it at all. So, Watchtower to this day is still not producing accurate information. They're still not producing accurate information. When you go to their website and you see all these white people depicting people who were not white, I mean, it is it a big deal? Yes, in America, yes, because whitewashing of religion was purposely done, and it was purposely done with malintent. They weren't doing it just for no reason at all. That was part of the whole, how do we get our psyche around treating people really, really bad when they look just like the people who are in our Bibles? Well, just depict them all as white people, and then you don't have to even think about uh, African Americans who were treated really bad, uh, during slavery and whatnot. We don't have to think about them as human. We'll just remove them from everything. There was a reason, it was a negative reason, and the intent in all of those things, is just as bad. It's just as up there with holidays, per se. So if God was actually leading this organization, why would he still be allowing Watchtower to depict his son as a white kid or some white guy? Explain this to me. Why would history be being depicted in an inaccurate manner? An extremely inaccurate manner. So you comment down below, let me know what you think, but the Mormons do it also. The Mormons whitewash the mess. Oh my goodness, they do. They bad. The Mormons ain't never going to put up no Jesus of color. For the Mormons, Jesus is going to be white as white can be, and I think it goes back to racism. We just can't bring ourselves to depict someone important as being a person of color. They gotta be white if they're important. Mormons, I've been in their churches and I've seen their picture of Jesus. They got this picture of Jesus with angels to the left and to the right, and he's like in the middle with his arms outstretched. They got that picture in every Mormon church, freaking everywhere, and he's just as white in every single one of them pictures. There's no reason for them to put that much effort in whitewashing something, unless they're just trying to sell this freaking religion to white people and also go along with the whole ideology, the whole ideology of just whitewashing religion. So you guys comment down below, 937-789-4029. There's all kinds of scripture that get into what the Israelites look like. There's all kinds of scripture, that we can look at. Israel being in the land of Egypt for who knows how long, and a big mixed company coming out of Egypt. I mean, there's so many scriptures that you can go to that would refute whitewashing religion. It's been depicted as inaccurately as possible for the longest time. So comment down below. Let me know what you think. X Walker Bethelite signing out.